Hello, welcome to this demo of the sample solution of using Google Cloud Storage as content server for SAP. In this demo, we will show you how to archive the data stored in SAP system to a cloud storage bucket. This sample solution is built on top of ABAP SDK for Google Cloud. Therefore, before installing this solution, you need to install the latest version of the ABAP SDK for Google Cloud. After that, you can download the transports from GitHub repository to install the sample solution. Once you have both the packages set up, we can now begin the configuration. The first configuration that needs to be done is the client key configuration of the ABAP SDK. Here I am showing you a sample setup, and this is required to authenticate to Google Cloud APIs. Next, we need to create a background user. For the demo purpose, we have created one here, and the user ID is Archive User. Now let's go to the transaction SACF and create a new SACF node. While configuring this node, provide the background user that we had created earlier. We'll show you how it is done. In the logon data, select in the procedure as required with logon data, and in the user, provide the archive user. In the handler list, provide the class zgoog_cl_content_repo_gcs as the handler class. Now we can create a new content repository using the transaction code OACOC0. For the demo purposes, we already set up a new content repository with the name CS, short for cloud storage. Yes, here is the repository CS. Following are the configurations that need to be maintained in the host name and the port number. Provide your SAP server's HTTP host and the port details and save it. Now we need to maintain the customizing for the content repository so that we can link it with the client key configuration and a cloud storage bucket. You can do this by going to transaction SM30 and maintaining the data for the table zgoog_cont_repo. Now that all the prerequisites are satisfied, it is time to begin. We will archive SAP table data to Google Cloud Storage. For the purpose of this demo, let's focus on the archive object bc_sbal. This object is used for archiving old or expired application logs. Navigate to transaction SARA and choose technical settings under customizing. Here you can maintain various parameters. However, for the purpose of this demo, we'll maintain content repository as CS and proceed ahead. We can do a quick connection check to see as well. Let's save this. From the initial screen of SARA transaction, choose the button write. Within the new screen for write action, provide a variant name. Once you provide the variant name, you can now maintain different parameters that would be used by this variant. For this demo, we will consider the data from Jan 1, 2024 to 31st March 2024. Basically, all the logs generated during this time period should be considered for data archival. Set the processing option as production mode. You can also set different parameters required in the output as shown. On the start date button and choose a schedule for executing this in the background mode. We will choose an immediate execution in this case. Also, let's provide spool parameters and save it. Once the required settings are maintained, you should see green traffic light icons against each button. You can now proceed and click on execute button. On successful execution, you will see a success message, and you can also go to the background jobs and take a look at the job output as well. Basically the spool that has been generated. The next action that needs to be performed is delete. It has to be performed in the same sequence. This will delete the data from the tables constituted in the archival object bc_sbal and write the archival file consisting of deleted data to the content repository CS. Click on the archive selection button and for the start date, let's choose an immediate execution. Let's maintain also spool parameters as shown. Once all settings are maintained, we can go ahead and execute this. We get a success message. We can also job button to take a look at the jobs and the spool that is generated. Let's take a look at the spool. Here we can see that from BLDAT table, 3354 records have been deleted. Now from the initial screen of SARA transaction, we should click on the button management. Let's expand the tree and find the required archival session for today. Also you can change the layout to view the additional details. So we have generated an archival file which is almost of 1.9 MB, and that is the doc ID. Within the Google Cloud Storage, a folder is created with the name doc ID, and it serves as a repository for the related files for a particular archival file or session. One of these files is a primary data file accompanied by a corresponding metadata file that contains metadata information. Thus, we have successfully archived the SAP data to Google Cloud Storage.